They don't get it. They just don't get it. These people have been so blinded by ideology. They have been so infected with the woke fungus, it is impossible for them to relate or to understand normal people. It has been several months now since we have talked about the absolutely disgusting behavior from Target. It has been several months since we have discussed Target betraying their customers so they could be baptized and born again and accepted by the deacons at Woke United Methodist. Now, in a way, Target was kind of fortunate because the Bud Light backlash completely overshadowed this revolting behavior from Target. Now, I think part of the reason for that was because the backlash against Bud Light came mostly from men. Us men, we have a tendency to be more aggressive. Men have more of a tendency to speak out and loudly voice their displeasure, whereas women, they have a tendency to be a little bit more non-confrontational. But that does not mean that backlash from women can't be effective. Matter of fact, you can make a strong case that women are actually more effective. Us men, we have a tendency to forget. We don't stay mad for very long. We could be extremely pissed off about something. 10 minutes later, we're pretty much over it. If my girlfriend does or says something I don't like, I might get aggravated, I might get upset, but 15 or so minutes later, I'm already over it. I've moved on to something else. But women, women do not forget anything. Women are a hell of a lot better than men when it comes to holding a grudge. All of my married men in this audience, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. At some point, you have been in an argument with your wife or girlfriend and she brings up something that you did 10 months ago that made her upset. You had forgotten about it. You thought it was over. She never forgot. Women are emotional by nature. They will always remember how you make them feel. And if a woman feels like you're coming after her children, forget about it. She will never let it go, and rightfully so. 5 months ago, Target committed what many consumers felt was an unforgivable sin. Now, this was not a violation of the woke commandments, it was a violation of the real commandments. Target was selling merchandise that was specifically designed for children. They had these wonderful pride displays set up in the front of their stores. As soon as the soccer mom and her 2 kids walked into Target, they were greeted with a beautiful rainbow display that was showing off all the pride Target had to offer. Hey there, teens! Did you know that the T in LGBT doesn't stand for teens? It actually stands for transgender. You can be cool and be transgender too. Take this brochure and read about the exciting journey of how Timmy became Emmy. Included in these flamboyant pride displays were children's books designed to indoctrinate kids. But the most controversial item that Target was offering was their tuck-friendly bathing suit. KC, what in the hell is a tuck-friendly bathing suit? Don't feel bad if you don't recognize or understand the terminology because Target is here to educate you. They utilize the services of grown male models to show young people how to properly wear the tuck-friendly bathing suit. When soccer mom walks into Target with her 2 kids, she is immediately met with the sight of Chad Thundercock modeling his tuck-friendly bathing suit. Now, this bathing suit, it was designed for men who aspire to be women. This special bathing suit will disguise your Franken beans so strangers will be unable to recognize your gender. Right now, we are offering a special buy a tuck-friendly bathing suit and we will give you a complimentary razor to eliminate those pesky facial whiskers. Now, obviously, the backlash against Target was severe. I mean, mothers were pissed off that a retail chain was attempting to indoctrinate their kids. But for some reason, mainstream media coverage of this boycott of Target, it didn't come close to reaching the level of coverage that was given to Bud Light. But that does not mean that this Target boycott was not effective. Target was one of my girlfriend's favorite stores. She used to shop there every weekend. Now, to her credit, she has not been back since this boycott began in the middle of May. Judging by their stock price, she's not alone. Check it out for yourself. The backlash against Target, like I said, started around the middle of May. The week before the boycott, shares of the company were trading for around $160 a share. Here we are a full 6 months later, and as you can see, Target never recovered. In the first week alone, Target lost $9 billion. It's estimated that the company has lost between $14 and $25 billion since the boycott started. Now, the tuck-friendly bathing suits designed for kids, they were not the only reason that women were pissed off with Target. Mothers were also mad because Target collaborated with a satanic designer to design clothes for children. Now, I know this country is divided politically. I know it seems like we can't get half the country to agree on anything. But there's just certain things that tend to unite people, especially parents. Promoting Satan to kids happens to be one of them. Even people who aren't overly religious, they don't want their kids worshiping Satan. We are entering the holiday season, the busiest time of year for retailers. Sales at Target still in the pooper. But that's okay. That's okay. Because their CEO, he has came up with the perfect plan to lure mothers back into his stores. Last week, Target CEO Brian Cornell, he sat down for an interview with CNBC. I guess he was copying the strategy of Bud Light. In the midst of the backlash against Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, they sent their doofus CEO on a nationwide tour. He was doing the media rounds. He was visiting Major League Baseball stadiums trying to speak with normal people. Of course, the tour ended in huge embarrassing failure because no one wanted to talk to him. It did absolutely nothing to ease the backlash against Bud Light. But Target CEO Brian Cornell, he thinks he's different. He agreed to be interviewed by CNBC so he could ease the concerns that mothers have with his stores. According to Brian Cornell, those reports that you saw over the summer in the media of Target selling and promoting tuck-friendly bathing suits to children, those reports weren't true. The numerous claims that Target was collaborating with a satanic designer, those claims weren't true. No. That was all media-driven propaganda. That was simply a figment of your imagination. But KC, what about all the pictures? What about all those videos on social media of people filming inside of Target stores? Come on, guys. You can't believe everything that you see on social media. Listen to the words of Brian Cornell. He is here to tell you that none of that was true. That was simply a conspiracy to damage the reputation of Target. Watch for yourself.
There are bathing suits that are transgender bathing suits that are being targeted and marketed to kids. A guy who you're working with, a designer who was a devil worshiper with some of the things. What did you find? What would you say back to some of those criticisms?
Well, I think you and I both know those weren't true.
First of all, I was pleasantly surprised that CNBC even asked this question to begin with. I mean, this is the same media outlet that gives woke welfare to the wicked weave of the woke Joy Reid. This is the same outlet that gave a platform to Little Red Riding Hood, Jen Psaki. I was surprised that CNBC not only asked the question, but they aired it. Like I said, though, there are certain things that unite people, and showing kids Chad Thundercock in a tuck-friendly bathing suit and trying to sell them satanic clothing happens to be one of them. According to Target CEO Brian Cornell, none of these allegations against Target are true. We weren't marketing tuck-friendly bathing suits to kids. They just happened to be located in the children's section. Okay. Sure, Brian. I mean, I don't have experience in retail. I guess you're the expert. So please make it make sense. If tuck-friendly bathing suits were designed for adults, how come they were located in the kids section and available in kids sizes? If Bob with the soon-to-be removed knob wanted to properly fit into one of these tuck-friendly bathing suits, the only way he would be able to do that is if he was born with rice and peas instead of the supersized Franken beans. Brian Cornell also claimed that the designer Target collaborated with was not satanic. Well, that's interesting. I wonder how Brian Cornell would explain this. I pulled this picture directly from this company's Instagram. Here we have a lovely model modeling a shirt that says, "Satan respects pronouns." Yeah, well, I would imagine that he does. I'm sure it gives Satan instant gratification to have children and teenagers confused over something as simple as their own gender. Now, I thought the devil horns here were a nice touch. I don't know if that's a device that he's wearing or the horns have been surgically added to his face. Nowadays, you just never know. But check out the portion of this message that I highlighted. "I encourage my US-based followers to wear this in July. That's when Pride Month ends and Wrath season begins." What the hell's wrath season? That sounds like a lot of fun. Wrath season? We go from the celebration of Pride in June, woke Christmas, to handing out wrath in July to anyone who doesn't fall into compliance. Basically, what Target CEO Brian Cornell is doing, he is blaming consumers for their demise. He is trying to blame customers for the fact that his personal ideology has turned Target into a huge embarrassing failure. Later in the interview, he blamed customers because Target employees no longer feel safe at work. For the first time in my career, I have employees who are afraid to come to work. I don't know how true that is. This kind of feels like deflection. Brian Cornell is deflecting blame on consumers instead of owning up to his own mistakes. I don't remember seeing any reports of Target employees being harassed. I don't remember hearing about threats made against Target employees. I don't know why they would be afraid to come to work. There's no one shopping in the store. Seems to me Target is the safest place to work because you're not interacting with any customers. The truth is, Target pissed off the wrong demographic. Like I said in the beginning, men have a tendency to get over things quickly. Kid Rock essentially started the boycott against Bud Light. He filmed that video where he was angry about their collaboration with Dylan Mulvaney. A couple of months later, Kid Rock's seen with a can of Bud Light in his hand. I'm sure Dana White didn't agree with Bud Light partnering with Dylan Mulvaney. Several months later, he allows Bud Light to become the primary sponsor of the UFC. Dudes tend to get over things quickly. Women don't. Women have not forgotten. Women have not forgiven Target for trying to indoctrinate their children. And we're to the point now where shopping habits have already been broken. It's been 6 months. If your wife or girlfriend quit shopping at Target, unlikely that she's going to go back. Once you lose a customer, damn near impossible to get them back. And their doofus CEO, he's not doing Target any favors by blaming his own failure on his customers. But give me your thoughts on this. Target CEO Brian Cornell, busted lying on CNBC. I guess he thinks we're stupid. I guess he thinks that we don't have eyes. Target stock price, it has never recovered. This seems to be a silent boycott. Women are boycotting with their persons instead of their voices. Do you think Target can recover? Give me your thoughts on all this. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate every one of you guys and your continued support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. See you guys tomorrow.